Welcome, my name is Tolly Bryn. This is The Joy of Awareness. Uh, Very happy to see you again, even though I can't really see you. I just see myself on this little screen here. But that's fine. I know you're watching and I love you. First off, before I start, let me just ask you to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy what I'm doing here. Share the stuff. This is life-changing stuff. And if you've been watching my other videos, if you've tried following my protocol, if you're dealing with any kind of chronic illness or any kind of difficulty, then you will know that fasting and a simple diet is a super cure for so many things. So if you know somebody who's struggling, if you have any kind of community that you're part of or something like that, just share my stuff. Get that stuff out there. It's helping people. It really is helping people. So today I want to, first off, I want to see if I can make a video that's a bit shorter. Let's see if I can stick to 10 or 15 minutes. I've been making like these 30-minute videos and I love talking. I love getting deep into subjects, but at the same time, I'm like, it would be also nice to make a few shorter videos, especially for those of you out there who are maybe a bit intimidated by the longer content. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about the poison drip of mainstream media and of like the mainstream narrative and how important it is to break free from that completely. I've been working on my third book, the third book in the series, which started with Health Simplified. They're loosely interconnected, but not really. It's mostly the titles that are connected. I've got Health Simplified, Mind Reclaimed, and this third one will be Heart Liberated. And in this book, I will mostly be talking about trauma work and working through emotional blockages and spirituality, I would say. The first book was Health Simplified, mostly about physical health and the way I healed myself through fasting and a simple diet. The second book was mostly about the mental aspect of being a healthy human being. And while I was writing this book this morning, I began talking about, or began writing about, this incessant propaganda and this incessant barrage of information that's coming to us from like official sources and from all over the place, really. And it's just poison. It's absolute poison. And I think a part of the reason for this endless propaganda is simply just to clog up your brain cells. Like seriously, there's so much just absolute garbage out there that, simply by merit of its stupidity just manages to block your neurons somehow. And you just listen to it, you're like, oh, my brain, it hurts. and all this sort of whiny, stupid stuff. It's just amazing. And, we've just come out of this ridiculous state of affairs that I will not name by name, and I will not name the culprit behind it. It starts with a C and ends with a id. And I won't talk about that in depth because I don't want to get banned on YouTube. But going through life during that phase was just like getting punched in the face back and forth. Everybody was listening to the news all the time. It was just like 50 new people died from the COVID, something, and you're just like, well, just stop, really. Like, what are you doing? This is it's just so insane. The constant barrage of death counts and the suffering and the pain, and oh no, there's a war and all this stuff, and you're just like, you need to live your own life. You can't let these people tell you what to think about, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to control what you think about. There are some very specific reasons for that. I believe that the main reason for that is that when you're stuck in the loop of mainstream narratives, all your time is stuck in that loop. All of your energy gets stuck in that loop. You start following politics, you start reading the news, you start listening to the news and watching the news and all that stuff. And all that time and all that energy that you're putting into doing that is energy that you could have been putting into yourself, into your life, into your relationships. These people who are behind this propaganda, who are behind all of these, cultural issues that you really need to know about and that you need to care about and you have to have an opinion on, these are people who want to see you suffer. That's the plain and simple of it. They want you on drugs. They want you to be poor. They want you sick. They want you stupid. They want you more or less unconscious, or to the degree that you can still work their bullshit jobs. They want you unconscious. They don't want you thinking about stuff. They don't want you to think like, what? So they're taking all this money from me in taxes. Who are these people? Like, what gives them the right? Like, they don't want you to think along those lines. These are not good people, but this video is not to talk about the bad people. This video is about fixing your own life, fixing the way that you approach life. Because they don't have as much power over you as you might think. And I've seen this in my own life. It is possible, like I was talking about in my last video, it's possible to just stop. Just stop taking notice. Stop putting your energy there. Like, you can actually do that. You can actually stop and say, I think my time and my energy are more valuable than this garbage. And that's what you need to start doing every minute of every day. And obviously you can do you can set up a lot of systems and remove a lot of systems to help you to get to that point. For example, you can set up barriers on your phone. You can cut the smartphone completely. And if you please give me your thoughts on this, because I'm really considering trying to get rid of my smartphone again. Like, I've tried it before. I've had like dumb phones throughout the years, but I've never been able to completely stop using smartphones, simply for the convenience of being able to use like Gmail and Facebook Messenger and all this stuff. I have to do that for work often, and sometimes for school as well. When I was in school, I'm not in school anymore. And just being able to see all that on your phone is just incredibly useful and comfortable. But on the other hand, I'm just like, is it really worth it for the incessant pounding of my brain with this stimulation that I don't need, that I can't really handle? Another part of the reason why I want to keep my smartphone is because I'm doing these videos on my smartphone, and it is, of course, it's an incredibly valuable tool. It is an incredibly valuable tool that helps me to get my message out to all these people. Right now, it's in the hundreds. I'm hoping it'll get into the millions, into the billions, into the trillions, to the sky, to the stars and beyond. But right now, I'm making do with the few hundred people that I'm really grateful for. By the way, like, I'm so happy. Just recently, I got to 52 subscribers. I was like, wow, that's amazing. More than 50 people have listened to what I'm saying, found value in it, maybe found me to be really charming and handsome, and wanted to listen to more. And that's just really uplifting and really, really awesome to see. And kind of lost my train of thought there. The poison drip, yes, the poison drip, because that's what it is. Like, it may not seem that way right on the surface, but if you look back, if you take a look at, if you've been like me, stuck in the news cycle, for instance, something happens. I remember doing this when the Panama Papers were revealed, and there were some high profile criminals in the Icelandic political sphere who had papers in there, who had been hiding their money offshore and all this stuff, and whatever. I don't really, right now I don't really care so much about that stuff, but back then I was just like, oh, these criminals, they need to be they need to be taken down and all this stuff, and I was just watching every single news bit on this stuff and just kind of seething with anger and resentment towards these people who are not really in my life and who they're not really connected to me in any way except that they steal my money when they can. That's yeah, that's a different story. But as I was saying, like I was stuck in this seething pit of just rage and annoyance, and all of my energy was just going into this pit of just feeling bad over something that really didn't affect me at all. And looking back now, I'm just like, wow, that was a lot of energy. That was a lot of time that I could have done, or that I could have used to do all kinds of really cool things, which I didn't do. And even just enjoying my life better, even just, I remember when the first story of the Panama Papers came out, I was in Greece, I was in Athens with my girlfriend. We could have been having so much fun out in the streets, doing whatever, just talking about life and the universe and whatever. But instead, I was just seething over these criminals in the capital who are stealing our money and putting them offshore. And, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the same can be said about well, I don't even want to say what it was, but there was a period of like 2 years where people got locked up and all this stuff, and you probably know what I'm talking about. I just, by principle, I don't want to name that disgusting thing on this channel anymore, and I'm going to be as conceited about it as I possibly can be, because that's what it deserves. That's what all the people who stood behind it deserve as well. And that's a little bit different, or quite different, in fact, because it did and it does affect you personally. It affects your physical health, or can do. It affects your freedoms to travel and to mingle with other people and all this stuff. So I understand people getting really pissed off over that stuff. And I got incredibly pissed off as well. I had to really fight to stand my ground when it came to taking the medicine that they all wanted you to take. I was just like, hell no. You can go F right off, you assholes. That's what I said in my mind. In reality, I was just like, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, once it became apparent that I wasn't going to do it, everybody got pretty pissed at me, and I realized, wow, I can take it. I can actually take it. I don't really care anymore that people get pissed at me for following my values and for doing what's right and for saying the truth. I don't really mind that much anymore, and I'm still learning to deal with the consequences of that realization. I'm obviously not perfect, and there are things that I have a really difficult time talking about. But at the same time, it was really freeing, and just talking about it right now, I'm just like, wow, I've come so far from where I used to be. Anyway, this video was supposed to be about the poison drip, and that's what it's been about, more or less. You guys, you can tell me down in the comments, like, am I really rambling a lot in my videos, or is it just me? I don't know. I don't really plan these things ahead of time. I just kind of like to go with the flow and just talk, because I like the sound of my own voice, honestly. And it's getting to the point now where I hardly follow anything. Obviously, you can't help but hear of things. Ooh, just over 14 minutes. Let me see if I can finish this in a couple of minutes. You can't help finding out about things that happen. You see, like recently, the raid of Donald Trump's house in Florida. That's an amazing piece of news. Of course, with the new staged war in, I shouldn't say staged. Why did I say that? The war in Ukraine. I wouldn't say it's staged, but there's some things that are just really off about that whole shenanigan. I don't know exactly what it is, and I don't really care all that much right now, to be honest, because I'm focused on myself and what I can do. And I'm focused on getting you to be on the same page as me with all of that. So obviously you can't and shouldn't really block out the entire world like that. What I'm suggesting here is just really, really take a look. Take up your smartphone, take a look at your YouTube feed and your news feeds and all this stuff, and just think like, what if any value am I getting out of this? Is this improving my life in any way? Also think like, take a look at your history, the history of your YouTube videos, for instance. I use YouTube videos because that's what I watch mostly. Just take a look at the history and think, okay, so how many of these are actually constructive and productive for me? Which of these videos are something that are really helping me to become a better person? And just as the first step, just try to start becoming aware of where you're putting your time and energy. I think this is key. This is key to expanded consciousness. That's what this channel is all about, health and expanded consciousness. Becoming aware of where you're putting your energy is the first step to actually putting your energy to good use. And that's the first step to actually expanding it even more, building more energy, building more value, building an incredible, powerful life and a powerful character. That being said, like I said in the beginning, please like my stuff. Please subscribe if you're enjoying my stuff, if you want me to make more videos, which I would love to do. I love making videos. Check out my books, check out my website, all that good stuff. I love you guys. I think you're so awesome, and I really want to expand this project and make more content on this. Please leave your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think I could do better? What would you like me to talk about more? If there are any topics that you want me to go into in depth, I'll be happy to do that. Also, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I'll be happy to do that as well. I live to serve. Peace.